Don't look at them as things, or don't look at them as problems. They're not problems. If you treat them right and love them, they're the most wonderful kids in the world.
The Bell Center is a private early intervention program where we provide important therapy services, including physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech-language pathology, and early childhood special education for infants and toddlers with special needs. The history of the Bell Center is really amazing, and it all starts with the Service Guild of Birmingham. It's actually two different stories that are on two separate paths. So on the first story, the Service Guild of Birmingham was founded in 1958 as a women's volunteer organization, and the women wanted to work with children with special needs.
The Service Guild was a group of 125 women, and we supported the Opportunity Center School. At that point, in 1984, handicapped children still went to separate schools. And they passed a law around that time called 94-142, where all kids went into public schools.
So all of the children that the Service Guild had been working with came out of the programs where the Service Guild went into their local school system. And the Service Guild was left going, what are we going to do? We have lots of volunteers, we're raising money, and we want to work with kids with special needs. What should we do? So if you put that story aside and go to another story.
I got my bachelor's in nursing in '68, and that was from the University of Texas. And then I went straight to the University of Florida and got a master's in pediatric nursing. And that's where I really got hooked on early intervention. So I'd spent all of my graduate work working with children in residential facilities because I was more interested in the children in the facilities. And then in 1970, I got a call from UAB. And they said, we're interested in looking into early intervention. Understand you're the one to do it. Would you come for an interview? And I jumped at it. I was ready to get back into early intervention.
I became friends with Betty. She became my go-to girl for everything that was going on with Scott. She was calm. She was reassuring. She was knowledgeable in everything that had to do with early intervention.
The program at UAB dissolved.
The grant ran out, so UAB had terminated the program.
I thought, well, what am I going to do?
And it's like a light went off. I said, well, we've got 125 smart women on one side of this coin, and we've got Betty Bell, who's knowledgeable dealing with an early intervention program. Why don't we put them together?
So the next night, 3 or 4 ladies came over and quizzed me up one side and down the other. And when they started to leave, they said, what we're really here for is for you to start the program.
At the end of that conversation with Betty, they were asking her what equipment she needed to start a program. And shall I say the rest is history?
The program started in the fall of 1984, and after many successful years, it was renamed in 2002 the Bell Center for Early Intervention Programs in honor of Betty's outstanding and long-time work with children and families.
About 2 years, kids were coming out the windows.
From the beginning, Betty never wanted to turn a child away. Even if there wasn't room on the schedule, Betty found a way to make sure that every family who called and wanted services could get their child in.
Ari is flourishing here. She came here at 3.5 months old and has since started to crawl. She is cruising, and she is now a walking toddler. But she's also doing things like communicating with us and using sign language. She's problem solving and interacting with her peers, both typical and with special needs. So we love it here.
The Bell Center has been a game changer. From developing that plan to watching them interact with Tegan to just talking to them about Tegan, her progress, it feels like she has an extra family on the side. When we drop her off, we know she's going to be well taken care of. We know that they're working towards her goals. And she does come home tired because we know every minute here is dedicated to something that she's working towards.
So working at the Bell Center it's empowering. I work with a group of women who every day come to work with the purpose of making lives better. They're just special people. I was here as a parent, and then to get to work alongside them and do the same thing is pretty awesome every day.
Well, if you ever have the honor and privilege of getting to talk to Betty Bell, you know that she's very passionate about early intervention. She loves our kiddos.
If I had to sum up Miss Betty in one word, for me it'd be possibilities. And that's what she's done for our family. We went from not really knowing what our daughter was going to be able to do, thinking about her hearing as a disability or a roadblock, to now knowing that she can work through that and be just like every other child out there.
Betty, to me, was always very reassuring. It didn't matter if it was bad or if it was good. She always reassured me that things were going to be okay.
These babies are my life. All my immediate family's deceased. Never been married, don't have any children. And I've poured my whole life into these babies. And they need to be looked upon as they have so much potential. And look at our kids today. We have some going to college. We have some driving. These kids can do anything if they can have a little push and have some help.
Thank you, Betty, for everything that you have done for Scott.
I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Miss Betty.
Thank you for everything.
We love you, Betty.